Again in 5,
4,
3, 2,
1.
Thursday night CrossFit Talk with Scott Schweitzer and Jamie Latimer.
We about to change the game. We out here taking names. Let our voices rise. Let them reach the skies. We about to change the game. We out here taking names. Let our voices rise. Let them reach the skies. Hickory dock, giving them all that we got. Kick on the door, try to knock, but nobody answered. I'm going hard and taking my chances. I keep it moving, I keep advancing, keeping it gangster.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Thursday Night CrossFit Talk on a Saturday as we break down the Crash Crucible event in Spartansburg, South Carolina, with a very dear friend of mine, Lauren Olson, and her team, Kamo Athletics, which is Addie, Joe, and then Nick is in the kitchen. So, guys, you guys came in. Addie, I met you at the West semifinals. Lauren, I've known you for a while, and your team made it to the games. And then, how did you guys get together? The two of you and these two men, Nick and Joe.
So I've actually known these three teammates for a long time, for a few years. They qualified for the games in 21 and 22. And so in 2022, is that when we did KO? Or 21?
KO in the OK, yeah.
We did a competition in Oklahoma that was 6 people. So they needed an extra female, extra male. And so they called me up. So that's how I first met everyone. So we've known each other for a couple years. And this last season, they all just decided to go individual, have a little fun. And then this season, we decided to get together and form a team.
Before I get back to you guys in the chat, Jamie's coming. She's out. She's getting something to eat. She'll be on about 7:45. But I wanted to have this team on today because they crushed it today, sweeping the events today and making a big move on the leaderboard. So you guys have come together. How excited are you to be able to have an event like this that is very games-esque, right? You get to play with implements that you wouldn't normally get to play with in a local competition. You get to do high-skill events. What is that like, being able to come and do that together even before the season begins?
It's fun. I mean, that's kind of what we're here for, just like to figure things out as a team, especially like with the new, I guess, kind of new implement of the flip sled, just figuring out it together. Mm-hmm. And I kind of relied on her a little bit for the flip sled, and then she relied on me for the ring muscle ups. And that was the point, just to figure out our new team chemistry.
And you had weighted GHDs, you had pegboards, things like that you don't see normally in a local comp.
Right. And it's new people, just people you wouldn't see. We just didn't want to stay, like, they're on the Kansas side and I'm on the Missouri side, but it's like you see the same people at local competitions. And so we had to like talk and like, where do we want to go to see new people and to have bigger competitions to get a better idea of what it's going to be like for the season.
So we have a couple comments. Shelby Jones says, I'm so interested in what's going on.
Shelby, aren't you at a wedding?
And then George says, put them guns away, Joe.
Oh, that's funny. Hey, guys, they're at a wedding back home. Someone at our gyms get married. And so Shelby is my old teammate, and then George is my husband. So they're going together to the wedding.
Technically, they're both former teammates, and one is a current teamate.
George was
not. Correct.
George
yes.
my current life, I guess that's true.
Yeah. So you came in. The broadcast was touting you guys as the favorite to win the competition because of your past experience. You had a rough first day. And that started with the pegboards, the sandbag over yoke, and the weighted GHDs. And I'm trying to remember what the second event was off the top of my head, but we'll get to that in a second. So you finish fourth in the first event.
Yes.
What was the hang up?
I'm not sure. So we haven't done big boards in the off season a whole lot. Like I did my first one since the games in a very long time. And I was like, well, we'll see how this goes. It's not something I particularly make a point to train in the off season. And then I'm not sure. We weren't sure how confident Lauren was to do a couple peg boards, and we ended up needing her, and she did great and got us like 2 out of at the back end of the workout. So I don't know. We didn't know how the other teams would fare. So it was just kind of like the first workout, get that out of the way and see where we end up. But
Kenneth DeLapp says, my favorite team.
Hi, Kenneth. That's fun. He's so nice.
So you get through that event, then like you've got to regroup, and the next event was
running. So it was 4 rounds of a 400-meter team run, and then 100-foot handstand walk per athlete in 50-foot sections.
Yeah, conga style. Yeah.
And yeah, that handstand walk, it can be devastating if you get a large percentage of it done and then fail.
Yeah, which is pretty much what happened. Going in it, I know that's a big weakness of mine. So I practiced it on my own, and it went way better than it actually went this weekend. So it was a little discouraging to see how it went. But yeah, there was 3 times I made it about 45 feet, and then I would fall. But it was really nice because, like our first competition together and looking up, and I can tell, it sucks for them to be waiting and they want to continue the workout, but they were just so encouraging. And it was like, well, don't go until you're ready, and it's okay. So that was really nice. It was a good moment.
There's still a long time till season. So that's why we are doing this competition with competitive teams, just to see like where our weaknesses are and then what we can improve on together.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. So I have as someone who doesn't do handstand walking personally, someday, in my 60s, I'll get there. When you get so close, is there something in your mind that says like, there's the finish, and like something comes over you? Because it seems so often that people get so close to that finish line, and then that's when the bobble starts.
Yeah. For me, I feel like I knew once we passed some marker in my head, I knew I had 3 squares left. And they did so good about telling me 3 squares left, 2 squares left. But it's just when I get fatigued, I start to get just way out of position, and it gets to a point where I'm just stuck and I physically can't move like my shoulders anymore, if that makes sense. So it's just about learning how to control that fatigue. And we had just came off that GHD workout in the sandbag, so my back was pretty blown up. But that's really what it was. It was not like, hey, there's one more left, I panic. It's like, I can't go forward anymore.
So you've only really had like one, what I would call like team workout, and that is where like you have a worm or something that you are synchroing, and in that one worm, you're a very tall woman, and Addie is not.
No.
So,
that was something we definitely considered as a new team, and I in the past couple of years have been on the back bag, and that's always been my position, but we knew kind of coming into this that Lauren is going to take the back bag and I'm going to move to the middle. And it's honestly, I don't think it's been a huge curve at all.
Not at all. Yeah. I was really shocked, but I feel like it's pretty smooth. Smooth sailing.
Too bad we didn't see more of the worm. We just had to hold it.
I know this weekend it was like there was one team that got back to the worm to actually do movements, and they got 2 reps in. So that kind of stinks. But
yeah. Because it would be, that's something you want to do as a team, right? You want to get some worm work in under fatigue, under the stress of a competition. And the fact that everybody kind of capped out before you even got to the movement was a little frustrating. Even from a viewer standpoint.
Yeah, sure. It's like, wow, cool.
Yeah.
So then you come into today and absolutely smash it. And you start with the thruster ladder, and the 2 of you put the team out to a very big lead. What does that feel like, starting the day like that and having a dominating performance?
Felt good. I mean, we are both very confident in that movement. We're both pretty strong athletes, so we knew our job and we executed how we needed to get us off on the right start, especially coming back from yesterday, and put the guys in a pretty good spot to finish it out.
So Joe,
Yes, sir.
I'm sucking you into this thing. So then they finish, and I think they did it in 5 minutes and change.
Mm-hmm.
And then you guys are up next. Does that give you like some juice going into that event that you can like plow through some moves, or is it stressful that you have what they did?
I mean, it gave us confidence that, we could just get close to the end. We saw where the other women teams finished at that, and knew as long as Nick and I got to the 265 bar and got a rep or two there, that we would probably be okay. Didn't think that any men were going to finish that nearly as fast as Addie and Lauren did. So just was like, get to the 265 bar, try and hit a rep or two. It's pretty heavy for Nick and I as far as thruster go. So just do what we can there. We're not the strongest guys on the floor, but if we can manage that, then we should be able to get a win there.
Were you able to do more of a slow and steady kind of pace, knowing you had that under your belt?
Yeah, we knew that we were going to have to be slow and steady if we wanted any sort of chance at hitting a 270 or 265 thruster. We could both do 10 thrusters at 185, but if we were doing that, then we wouldn't hit any at the last weight. So just had to be smart, break it up. Know that, again, if we wanted to hit any of the last bars, that we had to be smart in the beginning bars.
What was it like feeling like you almost could kiss your competitors in the lane beside you?
Are you talking proximity?
Yeah.
It was close.
I think a barbell was almost smashed on Nick's head.
Yeah, I mean, you just had to be careful and be aware with what was going on. We knew the team that was directly in front of us, and I trust that Hayden wouldn't drop a barbell on the other guy. I don't know him too well, but I don't think he would do that. Some of the other folks, I'm not quite sure out on that floor, but that's on them, I guess, until it's on me.
You had one added piece where you had crowd beside you, like fans.
Yeah.
You could have taken them out.
Yes, people behind you.
Well, originally, since we started first and I was the first to go on the barbell, I was like, is there a certain way I'm supposed to face? And my judge was like, not that I know of. So I looked behind me and it was like a line with spectators, and I looked in front of me and my competitor was right in front of me. I'm like, neither way is great. So
Guess we'll
I
face
don't know.
Yeah, it was comical to watch. It looked like pure chaos.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't stagger you guys, like lane 1 up a square, lane 2 back a square.
That might have been the smart thing to do, but
Yeah. I didn't feel like it was chaotic in ours, did you? I don't know.
I don't think it was chaotic. It was definitely tight.
It was tight, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, from a visual standpoint, as a spectator, like, it looked chaos.
Right.
Oh, okay.
It was even hard to tell who was on what team,
For sure.
because it was just like a mass of people.
Yeah.
The person not lifting was right there. The either the men or the women were there. It just was crazy. And then in the individuals, they staggered them.
Oh,
In the lane.
yeah, they did.
They probably learned from.
Yeah, Kenneth says it looked crazy close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty close.
And Bruce is the guy that always pushes my buttons on the show.
Oh, fun.
Bruce, if you were paying attention at the beginning of the show, this is Kamo Athletics.
Yeah, Bruce. Hey, Bruce.
Okay, so you finish that event, you get a win under your belt, and then you come in to the afternoon to the flip sled and muscle up workout. And on this one, the men went first, and then the women went second. So little flip of the order, and then they got to kind of put something on the books, and then you had to kind of keep up with that.
Yeah, I think it was. I like that setup because it usually girls aren't as strong in the ring muscle up as males, and so having the females go last, you could. I mean, it was such a close race with the guys division, so it really came down to the females on the rings, and we knew that going in it. So, and it was really nice for the guys at the end of the floor to just be like, stay calm, like just stay calm, don't blow up. And so it really worked out. I liked how they had the men first and then the women second.
Your friend Carolyn Prevost just jumped on.
Hey, Carol.
Hey, Lauren and team.
We were just watching, is it 2022 games? So we watched you do your sandbag clean.
And Bruce is telling me he was just thinking of the other viewers that just tuned in.
Oh, gotcha.
Not for him.
Yeah. Thanks, Bruce.
So yeah, that was you guys again. The women, the guys did their part. They kept you in the race, right? You're right there. And then you guys hit the muscle ups and just crushed it from that point forward.
Yeah, we executed. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. It's all you.
Oh, we just executed exactly how we wanted. Lauren took a couple more flip sleds, and I did a couple more ring muscle ups, and yeah, it felt great.
It was hard to see you in lane one. So they were saying that some of the teams, like the person that was going to do more muscle ups, like left early, and the one person stayed back to just finish the flip sled on their own. Did you guys do that? Because I couldn't see. No.
You were the last person.
I did two to give her a chance to like run to the floor.
I pretty much just had enough time to put chalk on my hands, and then I jumped right up.
I feel like maybe their strategy could have been like the weaker muscle upper takes pretty much like because you had to do 6, each direction. So maybe they just didn't plan to do any or big sets. For me, I just didn't know what my capacity would be after being fatigued, but I knew I could do more than singles. I could give Addie a little bit more. So if she had given me the last 5 or 6 flip sets, I would have had her have to take way more muscle ups. So it worked good for us.
Yeah.
So Bruce is asking, are you guys going to Wadapalooza?
No, didn't plan on it.
No,
we I don't even know when the team qualifier was, but
it's now.
It's now
The 3-person team. Yeah, it's happening now.
Oh, it's the 3-3-3.
Yeah.
No, yeah, we hadn't talked about it. We're mainly just focused on our team currently and working on weaknesses in the off season and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, Bruce is from South Florida, and he never leaves there.
Oh.
So he wants everybody to come to him.
There. Yeah. Bruce, I'm not an ocean person, and swimming is not something I will volunteer to do.
It's a super fun competition, but yeah, not this year or next year.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going this year. It was so packed last year and there was no media access that it just didn't make sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Nick, everybody.
Is Nick cooking something good? Meal prepping? What's going on?
I was eating a little bit of ground beef and some rice.
Typical CrossFitter meal?
Yeah, it's easy.
So now Jay Birch is asking fittest experience.
We actually chose this over the fittest experience. One, because there was no qualifier, and because it was the soonest. So we just wanted to get like that initial team experience and then know how to build off of it from there. So.
Yeah. Watching, like, I have so much FOMO this week. I was almost going to come to this competition. I have family in Charlotte.
You're not North Carolina.
Charlotte's North Carolina.
No, where are you? Yes, remind me. Iowa, Illinois,
Columbus, Ohio.
Ohio. I was way off. Gosh.
Way off.
Okay.
But I have family in Charlotte.
Okay.
And so I was going to drop my wife off in Charlotte and then go down for the weekend.
Aww.
And I have so much FOMO. And I'm so bummed I didn't go because I love the fact that JR is giving you guys the opportunity for a games-like experience.
Mm-hmm.
I just love that.
Yeah.
It's high skill. Like that handstand obstacle thing that they had to do today was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
And you guys getting to do the flip sleds and the pegboards and all of that. It adds so much to the excitement of the event because a lot of people haven't even touched those things.
Mhm. Yeah.
So how has your overall experience been at this competition?
I think it's been good.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's a check-in time, a corral time, like there is like the higher level competitions where they have a 10 minutes, you have to be in your corral kind of deal. So they're pretty like on time, and yeah, it's been good.
Yeah. And so that it's giving you all those intangibles too in a competition,
Mhm.
like setup, cool down, warm up, all the things that you need, how to eat during a competition, right, Nick?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I just love that. And so, it appears like everything is running on time, like to the minute.
Yeah, they're run a tight ship. Yeah, we
Yeah.
like that. And there's enough time for you to go back to our Airbnb between heats and feel plenty rested, recovered, and ready to go for the next event by the time we get back. So it's been nice. Yeah.
So now you're gonna go finish up this weekend. If I show you the leaderboard, and the audience, let me do that real quick. You guys are under the traditional scoring,
Mhm.
not this P scoring that's going on, which I think is to your disadvantage after your slow start.
Correct. Yes.
Because like in the thruster workout, you would have made up a lot of ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
in P scoring. So you are sitting at 330 points. BRRH is at 360.
Yeah.
That seems like a pretty big lead. How many scored events do you have tomorrow?
3, but isn't one of them?
The first 2 are half each, so technically only 2 full scores.
Okay. So it's going to be a tough hill to climb to get to that number 1 spot.
Yeah.
So what is your goal for tomorrow?
Win the last workout. We got no idea about the sleds, but I'd like to win that last one.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. That'd be awesome to do that. And it would be a good way to finish and move on into training for the season. So what are the goals for the season? Any other competitions?
To end out this like 23 year, probably not. Just get back into some training, specifically weakness training, get onto a strength cycle, specifically Joe and I a strength cycle. I talked to JR a little bit today, and I guess the Crescendo that he hosts in April is teams only. And he said a lot of teams use that as a prep 1 month out of semifinals. So we may consider that. If we do that, we will fly this next time because that drive on Thursday was
we had a little
heinous.
tough
so
trip
bad.
here.
It was bad.
How many hours in the car?
It ended up being 17 for me, 16 for Lauren, and then 14-ish for them too, because they were on the way. So I just picked people up as we went. Yeah.
No wonder you had a slow start.
We had like
Yeah.
2.5 hours of traffic.
Just standstill traffic. We went 2 miles, I think, in 2 hours.
Yeah, just
4
outside
miles.
of Knoxville. It was rough.
That's awful.
Yeah.
So maybe Crescendo, and then you guys aren't at the same gym, right? So you're going to have to, are you guys going to do weekends, like get together, do some team building stuff?
Yeah, that's what we've been doing the last handful of weeks. Lauren's only an hour from me. And so she comes out more often than Joe and Addie. Joe and Addie and I have been training together for going on 3 years now. So we only need to brush up on things every so frequently. So when they can make the trip out, their trip's closer to 4 hours. We get on that worm and hammer away for a weekend, and they stay with us. So as far as the travel and stuff goes, we're pretty content with the schedule we've got.
So and then it's just you'll do, where will you do the open?
In Kansas City. Yeah, at Kamo.
Okay.
Yep.
And then you'll make it to quarters.
Yep.
You'll go then to semis. Semis will be in the West.
Yeah, have you seen a schedule or a rule book yet for this year?
No.
What we're waiting on too, brother.
No.
Yeah.
Didn't have good inside information.
Rules are or anything yet.
And then it's all out for semifinals and then hopefully to the games.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. You're going to be a fun team to follow. I always follow Lauren's team, whichever that is. That's who this media company follows through the season. So I'm sure we'll be talking to you guys a bunch this upcoming season.
Cool.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I want to wish you guys good luck tomorrow and throughout the season. And we'll be in touch and see how things are going.
Okay, that sounds good, Scott.
Well, thank you so much for jumping on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you soon.
Bye,
Appreciate it,
guys.
Scott.
Bye.
See ya.
All right, guys. So that is Kamo Athletics. Again, swept the events today, won both the thruster ladder and the the flip sled muscle up workout. So they won both of those, and and then they have 3 events tomorrow. 2 are half scores, 1 is a full score, and they have to make up 30 points to get into first place. They currently sit in second, tied in points with Apex Performance Black, and they're chasing BRRH, which is Blue City CrossFit, for first place. So there's that. And now, hopefully in the next couple minutes, Jamie and Tristan will jump on and we'll talk about the individual competition, and see how that went for them today. And we'll be able to wish Jamie a happy birthday. Carolyn says, I feel like Lauren does a competition every weekend. I agree. I think when I look at her Instagram, she's always competing. So, and here comes the birthday girl now.
We did it.
We're here.
And they've got everybody in the same shot.
Yeah.
Sign my shirt. I'm 40 years old now.
Tell them the shirt that you wanted to get.
No.
Well, happy birthday. I didn't get to say it to you personally.
Thanks.
You had a really good day for your birthday.
Yeah, that was good.
Okay. So we have Veronica, Tristan, and birthday girl Jamie. How come every time we talk about your performances, you and I get into a fight?
I don't know, because I don't think that it's good. I mean, it's good. I'm happy with the thrusters for sure. I'm not gonna do better than that.
So I'm confident in watching you do your handstands today, handstand walking, that if you were on that apparatus for another 20 minutes, you would be able to do those things really well. It's just your first time. And the only thing that got you on the stairs was the transition from your weight at the top to go back down. And that's just figuring out where to put your weight. So I was super stoked. I was jumping, screaming at the laptop because you were worried you were going to fall flat on your face and get no reps on that. And you got 2 full traverses and 40 more feet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that was pretty awesome. Now, the bad part of it is this stupid P scoring.
Still big fat zero. So
yesterday I was devil's advocate with P scoring. Today it is stupid.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
It is dumb. The fact that you do double plus almost triple the work of another athlete and get the same score is asinine.
Yeah, makes it hard to make any moves, huh?
It does.
Makes you not want to move at all when they say 3, 2, 1, go. I'm gonna get a 0 anyway, so I'm just gonna stand here. Wait, hi, Mom.
Which is interesting because the point of P score is to prevent that from happening.
I agree. I agree.
I'm-
Now that I see it, like now that you see it, right? Before it was hypothetical. Now I see it. Now I'm like, yeah, it's dumb.
I've never, this is my first even like knowing about P-score. I don't think I would have said from the get-go I was not for P-score. I think there is valid reasons for Z-score. I'm all for Z-score. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of.
Kenneth Delap says FP score. Andrew says it seems there's good and bad with P scoring. I don't see the good yet.
Yeah, me either.
So I think in theory, if there's I think right now I feel like one of the limitations of P score is the size of the field.
I agree.
So like I'm very curious to see what the elite leaderboard looks like with all the scores in, and we can see like who got points where, who didn't get points where, and all that stuff. But I think part of the theory of it is you could, in theory, allow, like with a P scoring system, allow athletes to focus in on where their strengths actually are, because they could pick up bigger point margins on the competitive field in a well-rounded test. Like I talked to Tyler a little bit, and I overheard him talking today. Like the example he gave was we've never seen how strong Sam Dancer can actually get, because Sam Dancer is just always running so that he doesn't take like a dead last in a run event. So in theory, a scoring system like this would allow us to see like how strong can Sam actually get and put distance between himself and the field in something he has the ability to do so at, which I get. I just think there's a lot that needs to be fleshed out with it. And I think as with all things, there's a big difference between theory and application.
So here's I'm gonna first. Carolyn says I just don't think it works for our sport. Here's where I think the mess up is, and I saw it today. If you have an outlier like Caroline Cluck, what's her name? I'm gonna mess it up now. The person that's winning the Masters, Caroline Klutz,
Oops, maybe.
who is killing it, right? And she's winning. If you win by a large margin, now you're setting the point differential at a very large margin. So because she's so far above the median, now like every second is 7 points. Okay. So now she wins by a minute and you have these 7-point minutes, right? But Jamie finishes 1 second ahead of somebody or behind somebody. Now she's lost 7 points to that person. And really their fitness is almost identical.
Right.
It's a second apart. And that's where it really gets messed up. In addition to that,
I feel like it worked. I feel like that didn't happen with me.
I'm saying I was using you as an example. I'm saying that looking all over the leaderboard today, in everybody, if there was an outlier in an event, it skews the middle.
Well, and it doesn't like what we've seen, at least in a field of 8, which we could almost, like, I feel comfortable saying would be the same thing that would happen in the example I'm about to give. This scoring does not prevent the Matt Frazier scenario. If you have somebody, who's winning by margins in events, which we could say Matt was probably capable of doing, like the year he went into the games and he had like, a point lead that was insurmountable. With P scoring, in theory, that lead could have even been bigger.
Right.
Which again, like and maybe I just misunderstood it kind of from the conceptual side, but like thought this was supposed to prevent that. But if you have somebody who's an outlier, not necessarily in one event, but in their ability throughout the sport, they're going to run away. Like Caroline, she cannot be caught. She's won. Right? Like it's over.
Yeah.
So like, I think there's just bridging that gap between, like I said, theory and application.
Yeah, and here's where it and Jamie's my friend, so of course I'm attached to this, right? She kills the handstand walk today for her. Something she's never done before. She finishes the second traverse and you're jumping up and down that you've done it and super excited. Then you see this P score and it takes all that away.
Mm-hmm.
Because they gave you a 0 for something you did that you've never been able to accomplish.
It gave
before.
me a tie with somebody I did more work than.
Yeah.
It literally says we tied.
There's 3 people in her division who have 6th place on that event, and they all got 0s. So it's like once they hit the 0, like once this calculations hit the 0 point scale, it's just you're all 6th place because it doesn't, like, you just get 0s.
And like what they're trying to say is like throw out the bottom because you're not good enough. Your score doesn't matter. Like that doesn't make sense. Like to give somebody on flip sleds yesterday who finished the event a 0 makes no sense. Like they did all of the work. They clearly did better than other people. They deserve some points.
Yeah. I agree. There's got to be a better way.
Oh, or at least make one massive leaderboard so that this small field isn't such a big problem. And then just wherever we fall, just slide us over, right? Like Carolyn will still be at the top, right?
Yeah.
Like just put us all on the main leaderboard with maybe yellow highlights on our names and we'll see what order we fall in.
Yeah, I mean, I applaud Crash for trying something new and seeing how it actually worked in reality. But now that we've seen it, I hope we never see it again.
Yeah. I don't care what Jeff's saying.
So Jay Birch says there is no place for people who cap or are outside the standard deviation between the leader and the mean. That's what this scoring is saying. There is no place for them. They get a 0.
Correct. Basically.
And I actually heard Tyler say yesterday when explaining it that they view those as outliers and they're not relevant to the right. I'm not agreeing with it. I'm just telling you what was said.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Wait, hold on.
No, I know. I heard him say that too, and I'm like, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, you can't tell the person who finished that flip set event that they're not relevant.
Right. But that's a statistical term, right? When you're working with numbers, these are people. These are competitors and athletes. It's different. And it's going to it's exactly what Ronica said. It's going to disincentivize people to even put any work in. Like if I'm going to get a 0, why flip this sled 40 times?
Well, they got to do 400 reps tomorrow. Like if I can't finish this workout and I only have 50 reps left,
The P scores on the hundreds are going to be nuts.
I'm going to be mad and staying there with my fat 0.
If the hundreds is the closest workout to the flip sled run in terms of like time domain and probably more than likely going to be score variance among the athletes, like I bet you there will be people who are almost 50 reps, 60 reps apart who get 0s.
Yeah, and that's not okay, right? Like significant amount of work should.
I mean, it's like 4 minutes of work that deep into a workout.
Yeah.
Like it's a pretty big difference.
Yeah. LDY 2742. I think that's the goal. If someone is way fitter, they get rewarded more. But I like that with the scoring system, we know you can figure out what you need to do. No way to guess what someone's going to. So he's saying that you can strategize going into the next event, like who you need to be ahead of and by how much you need to be ahead of them. So you can actually strategize in the last workout. With this scoring, you're going to have no clue How
You
much?
have no idea how many points you'll get in any event.
Right.
Unless you know you're going to win.
Sure. But even the second place person,
Yeah. It's like,
like,
yeah.
we've seen second places get 80 points and 60 points.
Mhm.
Boo. That's it.
Jay Birch said there's no gaming the workout except to go balls to the wall.
But
I don't know.
but yes and no.
Yeah.
Like if athletes were comfortable with the scoring system, like James Sprague blew the brakes off of that workout last night, right? If athletes were comfortable and aware enough of the scoring system, when he comes in from his last 400-meter run and he realizes, because James knows how long 30 GHGs is going to take him and he knows how long 7 flip sled is going to take him, if he knows he's already going to finish 45 seconds to a minute ahead of the second place person on that event, he's getting his 100 points. And he can take away points in theory from what other people can get, but it's still like the damage you can incur on your body, like melting yourself at the end of a certain workout. Athletes are still going to be like, nah, I'm going to take my hundo and you can have 70 or 80 points and I'm good. And if this was a common scoring system, athletes are 100% smart enough to figure that stuff out and do it mid-event. It's not that hard.
Yeah, I agree. So let's move on from scoring.
Okay.
I know you guys have an early morning. So you finished that. Anything that you, and so did you watch any of the individuals do it?
The handstand walk?
Yeah.
Some of it.
I couldn't see really any.
I watched a little bit of it, but it got crowded in there pretty quick. It was a little hard.
And we came back and I finished watching on live stream.
The live stream.
Yeah.
So again, there were some phenomenal times.
Yeah, I saw Lydia's run. Yeah.
Incredible. Right. But I actually texted Tristan today. So we badmouthed Bill Leahy last night, and I want to give him kudos today. He had a phenomenal day. And last night I questioned his sense of urgency in the flip sled when the guy came up on him. He had the same thing happen to him with Marquand today in the handstand walk, and there was a sense of urgency, and he stepped on the throat and took the win.
Yep.
And so I want to give him his kudos. And dude was flying. And then he did really well in the thruster workout too. So 2 back-to-back quality workouts for Bill Leahy, and a really good day for him.
Yeah.
I do want to address one thing. On the broadcast, someone said, it was Brian Friend said that he was no repped, and someone questioned why he was no repped in the chat. And the response from Brian was, he needs to be held to a higher standard than everybody else because of what he's been through. And I completely disagree with that. There is a judging standard that everybody should be held to.
Yeah.
No more, no less. If he meets that standard, he gets the rep. Not a higher standard, not a lower standard, the standard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Well, and this was kind of what I was alluding to a little bit last night. Like, and I talked about this some today. Like, yesterday, I'm sure people were just going in on him about the pegboard, right? Because he fell. And the urgency in the last workout yesterday. But because of what he's had happen, and then if people follow him or know of him, like, his scores that he has put up in workouts are very good. Like, he is fit and he is athletic and he is strong. So I feel like he's in this weird position where everybody is scrutinizing him a bunch. And when he steps out on the competition floor, they expect him to execute in the same way a seasoned games athlete does. or somebody who's been doing this a long time. Like, he doesn't have that much high level competitive experience yet. He's not been doing this a super long time yet. And that was kind of why I said what I said yesterday. Like, just like give him some time, let him get over his mistakes. Like, he'll have to figure all that out and obviously not do those things in the future, but he's still a young competitor in the sport. Like, he's going to have those blunders. I mean, for crying out loud, how many times has Pat Vellner had something crazy happen at the games?
Yeah.
He's been doing this forever. He rolls his plate across the floor or whatever, right? Like, that stuff happens, but I feel like when it happens to Bill, people are like, "Ugh." It's like, just chill out, guys.
Jay Birch says Bill needs a team around him who will hold him accountable. I think he needs a team around him that will support him. I'm just gonna transfer that a little bit to support him. Make sure that his setup is measured correctly. Make sure that everything is in line before he submits an online submission. Like, he just needs support. I don't think every account of people who know Bill say he's a great dude. Like, I don't think he's trying to manipulate the system. I just think he makes stupid mistakes and just needs someone to support him to make sure he doesn't do that anymore. Because he looked great today. He looked great yesterday until the pegboard fall on that event. Like, but anyway,
He needs Lynette in his life.
he does exactly. He needs a Lynette in his life.
At least
Someone to
can
take
you
control of
send
the
Lynette his
schedule.
videos and have Lynette be like, bro, you got to redo that.
Yeah, come up to Columbus, do your online comps at Chalk Dust, and Lynette will set you straight.
We got
Yeah.
you, Bill.
Yeah, she sets up 4 cameras, measures everything 16 times, and doesn't use the wheel they used at the games. So anyway, so you finished that. I want to talk about your thruster workout. You looked so happy on the floor, and I was so happy for you when you hit the 155, 165 3 times. And that was a PR.
I think, yeah.
Your husband
told her she
was
was gonna
in the
hit
chat
2,
on
so
the
that was
on the
pretty
stream telling everybody it was a PR.
Yeah.
Aaron got
So-
on the stream. Is that what he said?
He did. Yep.
Yeah.
And so how stoked were you to hit that?
I was happy. I mean, yeah, like I felt like that bar felt like the 155 bar. Yeah, the first lift of that bar felt like the end of the 155 bar. So that was nice picking that one up. And then I only had so much time. So
Yeah. I wanted you to get that so bad. But yeah.
I didn't know that the bar only had to be off the ground because I probably could have waited like 10 more seconds.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was the rule.
Well, you have to go through your psych up routine too. So you got to give yourself time for that.
Yeah. I was giving myself time to do a extremely slow front squat and press. So I could have had it. I could have rested and had it off the ground. But whatever, which that would have made a difference in points.
Carolyn Prevost says birthday PR.
Yep. On a men's shorty bar.
And Kenneth DeLapp says nice hotel room art.
It's not bad.
That's better than our last first
way
one.
better than the Madison Hotel.
Way better than the Madison Hotel.
Way better. Less bullet holes, it looks like, too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we look at the leaderboard real quick, I will pull that up.
Yeah, I probably don't want to see that.
Well, I mean, for all the elites.
Way
Well,
better than the
Actually, I
MFC
have
Hotel,
it.
Andrew.
Oh, the puke
Um,
in the toilet. Yeah.
Nice.
There was no puke.
So in the elite the Masters female, Caroline Klutz has run away with this.
Yeah.
It would take a Tanya Harding event to get her not to win. Mackenzie Riley in second, Hannah Oakley in third. If we look at the men's Masters, Mark Hutchinson. Actually, this surprises me. I've followed Mark for a long time through regionals and semifinals. The fact that he's winning in a pretty loaded Masters thing, good on him. He's been around the sport a long time. Hudson Fricky in second and Chad Cackert in third. And our boy Kyle Ruth in fourth still.
Yep.
If we look at the elite females, Emma Harveg in first place.
Oh,
Kind of a surprise.
I haven't actually looked at this.
Lindsay Lane, CrossFit Crash athlete in second,
Wow.
and Lydia Fish in third. Chloe Wilson made up a lot of ground today.
yes.
Sitting there in fifth. Ariel Sanders fell back a little bit. Allison Yen still in that top 10. Hannah Black in ninth. Callista Lang made a little bit of a run. She's in 12th. I think tomorrow's way better for her than today. That she did great on the handstand walk. The thruster was going to be tough for her regardless. So there's the females. We go to the men elite. Daniel Kutz in first. Man, that dude looks strong, and he's 20 years old. I think I heard. Do you guys know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
James Sprague in second, Austin Hatfield in third, and then Rosema Mertens Krieg 4, 5, and 6. So and then Quentin McQueen is still kind of hanging out there, and there's Bill Leahy made a huge move from like 22nd to 8th.
Yep.
So good on him. Mark Wan in 11th. Ty Jenkins coming out of the teen division, holding his own in 12th. Very cool. So my last question for you guys, and I want it more for Tristan to start, and then we'll answer some of the chat questions. At an event like this, where JR pulls out all of these implements that you don't see at local comps, you don't see at the Open, you don't see in quarterfinals, probably not even in semis. How good is it for you to have an athlete have experience doing flip sleds, doing pegboards, doing the handstand obstacles? Is that important for an athlete to have that experience?
I think so. I don't think it ever hurts either. Even though maybe some of these things aren't sport specific in the traditional like linear path from open quarters, semis, games, I think they're good implements for people to have some exposure to, especially because there's almost no athlete in the space who exists solely in the sanctioned CrossFit season. So it is likely you could see something like this at a Wodapalooza, Dubai. I mean, I was at a relatively local competition in Louisiana a couple months ago, and they had pegboards for every division. The scale division did like pegboard pull-ups basically. So I don't think it's ever a bad thing for people to get that variance. I mean, that is part of what CrossFit is. And I think for a lot of the athletes, it's a fun opportunity. Like doing those odd things, challenging themselves, just a little bit of more flavor in the programming. I think the athletes enjoy instead of, going to another off-season comp and it's like, all right, well, we're going to row and do toe to bar and clean and jerks. I hope you're faster than the other guy, because that's what a lot of smaller, and I don't think Crash is a small competition, but just more local competitions. That's just a lot more of what it is. There's not high skill movements. There's not odd objects really. It's just like simple grunt work stuff. So I think it's great for athletes to experience that personally. And I think the athletes enjoy it.
So it's no secret that Jamie has talked since I've known her that this is the year she's going all in to try to make the games. If you have an athlete that's trying to go to the CrossFit Games, these are implements that you will see at a games event. If your athlete is one of those people trying to, for that goal, is it important they find a competition like this?
I would say so. Yeah. It's definitely going to help your learning curve for games prep. And we know the games at least tries to throw some kind of a curveball. So, because if you've done something similar enough to something else, even if it's not the exact same thing, if you have some sort of a relatable experience that can help you learn quicker, because that's a large part of what the games is when they do those random odd things. It's like, who can figure it out faster, right? All of the people at the games in any division could figure it out if they had 2 weeks. But part of what the games is can you figure it out in 20 minutes in the warm-up area or on the floor? So if you happen to get lucky and have done it, or if you have some sort of thing you've done that's close enough that you can figure it out faster than the other people, then that's a big thing.
So my last question on this, and then we'll hit some of the questions in the chat, is this weekend, Jamie has done something she's never done before in all 4 events.
Hell yeah.
How does that give you as her coach confidence, and Jamie, you as an athlete, that you can adapt? Is that one of her strengths, that she's able to, in a day or two, figure out how to do a flip sled, how to do a pegboard, how to do a handstand obstacle?
Yeah. I mean, it gives me a bunch of confidence, especially coming off of the MFC like 2 weeks ago. So with that limited prep time and her being able to figure that stuff out on the fly, and also seeing her do these things in person has been good for me, knowing there's a little bit of a difference between what she thinks she can do and what she can do, which is good for me to know as we like go through the winter and then really start ramping up for the season and things like that. It'll help me write things that'll give her an opportunity to surprise herself and have confidence in her abilities when the season starts.
So Jamie,
You're up.
What?
how do you feel confident in your ability to adapt now after this weekend?
I think I'm a pretty adaptable athlete. What I don't like is, so I'm a big proponent of not knowing workouts at all. And I know that wouldn't have like completely mattered because like people just have experience on some of those implements, but I would have rather nobody knew any of these and we all came in blind, and because then I feel like I would have been on slightly more even playing ground. But I don't know. I've always thought that I pick things up fairly quick. I don't want to beat it to a dead horse, but this is where I feel like P-score is a terrible idea, is when you're doing these like super high skill stuff. Like, I do think P-score makes sense for like a row clean or tomorrow's hundreds. Like, just move and then you really see who's fitter, but like you can't penalize people for like doing these things and getting as much as they can. Like, you're not just doing a normal workout that people can just get through, and it's just like where you fall.
I agree. But what I'm happy with as your friend, and Ronica, you can jump in here. You train with her every day. Seeing her do things that I know she's never done before, like I was elated watching her.
That was the whole week. All I've been saying is I'm so excited to see the unknown. I see you do all kinds of crazy stuff where I'm like, oh, where'd that come from? But now it's like, man, I've always known that you belonged here. I just hope you do too now. And the fact that everyone's like, hi, Jamie, 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 Jamie. You're making a name for yourself, whether you believe it or not. And a kid of mine's dad always says, if you're going to make a mistake, make it huge. And I don't ever really see her make a mistake when she knows her body. And I think it takes a lot of courage to showcase what you're capable of and more to entertain people in a race. It takes a lot of courage, and not everybody. I think that when the Masters, who did say they were coming, saw the workouts, they decided, nah, I'm good. And Jamie was like, I'll give it a little whirl. I'm going to complain the whole time. I'm going to give it a stab. Stab, stab, stab. And then keep stabbing about everything else. But before she did those thrusters, I was like, dude, you're going to get two. If you can get one, you can get two. She was like, let's be real. I was like, I am being real. I think you can do two. But
You got 3.
she's got to want it. It's got to, so Tristan says it's about performance. If it's not about perfecting the performance, then what are we here for? And I think today was a good way of getting some exposure to stuff that we've never done before. And it's just awesome to watch her see different styles of how to do flip sleds and different styles of how to walk up ramps and down stuff, or the clamping of the feet on the pegboard. Like, we saw that. That's cheating. But these are all different techniques that people use that now we can go back to the drawing board and see collectively what works for her body type, under fatigue, under stress, racing somebody, and what doesn't. So I think all round, this was excellent for her as an athlete to become more. And I love that she's never happy and never satisfied. And that's what's going to make a competitor, a champion, and a legacy.
So the only
Boom.
mistake I saw her make this weekend was almost ripping her sports bra off with the flip sled.
Oh, yeah, that happened too. She had a lot of underboob coming out.
Let's get some chat questions. Andrew Sten says, Jamie, how do you feel about all the Masters being together? I know it's a small field, but it's odd to have all the different age athletes competing together.
Well, I'm the only one not technically in the age bracket. It's fine. It doesn't make sense to me that we're just not on one big leaderboard. Like, either make the programming different or put us all together.
Jay Birch says, Jamie, how is your recovery so far this weekend?
It's fine. I feel fine.
She only did 7,000 steps today.
Kenneth says, did you bring your robot belt?
Absolutely. That's probably why I feel fine.
It stinks like Fit Aid, though.
Yeah, my Fit Aid exploded in my suitcase and got everything
Yellow.
Yeah.
You mean your C4?
Yeah. What?
You mean your C4?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Bruce says Jamie is the best Clydesdaleista.
Thank you,
I
Bruce.
think I read that right. And then he said the fittest Clydesdaleista. LDY2742, this comp is just going to help Jamie grow. She is on her way to make it, I would bet. Bruce says she's made a name for herself.
That's all Scott.
That's all
You gotta do the
Scott.
work for somebody to talk about.
You've helped me make a name for myself.
Carolyn Prevost says, your division is very good, Jamie. I know you were coming off a win a couple weeks ago, and this may not be where you want to be sitting, but you are doing great, and this is actually good experience.
It is good experience. You're right. I'm trying to just have fun with it. It's difficult. I am never satisfied. Ronic's right, but I'm trying to not be.
Carolyn also said lots of new implements and some good high skill tests. Go crush it tomorrow.
Thank you, Carolyn. I will do my best.
Hundreds. Let's go. Bennies.
People's champ, no matter what.
Aw, thanks, Ken.
And I think you melted Bruce down with the underboob talk. But
They're going back now to watch
Yes,
the footage.
you're the one putting in the work, Jamie. So I think you had an awesome day today. You had a great birthday, hopefully. I know you're going to celebrate post-comp, right? You're not. And you have an early morning tomorrow where you have to get up. What time do you guys start in the morning?
8:15 or 8:12? 8:12.
I think 8:12.
And do teams still go before you?
I think.
Oof.
But I actually don't know the answer to that off the top of my head.
I think they
Okay.
might.
I also don't know what if they have.
There's 2 floors. I feel like.
Yeah, they are. They're running 2
I'm almost
4
positive there's 2 floors.
Yeah, there's definitely 2 floors. But if they're doing the re-pull or whatever, it's quick.
Yeah, I think they
So-
start at like 8.
Yeah, so they'll be done pretty quick.
Well, when they start running 2 floors, if there's some reason why you are not going to be broadcast, I will set something up quickly so we can broadcast the Masters and send a link to a phone.
Yeah, because I already looked. Like we go at 10:25, 10:30, 10:30, and there's definitely like elite women on the main floor doing the hundreds, while we go over on the side floor doing the ring muscle up spud. So I know it's simultaneous.
Okay.
So
Send me that time
Okay.
that you go in the second event. I will set something up and give Veronica and Tristan the link, and we'll broadcast it live.
I don't think there's overlap. So the first event, the teams are 1 heat at 8 a.m.
Yeah, but see,
And
like
then-
these right here is elite females are going from 10:35 to 11, but you go down, and I'm going at 10:45.
Oh, okay.
The second event.
Yeah, the second event.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is going while there's.
Well, they have.
So 10:45.
I mean, they have like 4 cameras, like Hiller, Souza. There was another one floating around, so I would hope they can divide and conquer. But
will they?
I believe we'll see though.
I
Not with
bet
themselves.
they make a decision.
Probably.
And
Well,
so
'cause some of the feed is kind of glitchy and not very good. Like when they do the whole floor.
Yeah.
Today it wasn't very good. I don't know if it was like the glare from outside and that time of day because the sun came out and like you really couldn't see when they were starting their thrusters. I personally thought. And then they'd zoom in and you'd be able to see everybody.
Well, when we were
real
listening,
quality.
at one point, didn't Susan say he took it like off the Wi-Fi
Yeah.
and it got better connectivity?
Okay.
So I'm sure the internet out here is streaming.
yeah, we'll definitely we'll set something up and at least do a Jamie broadcast.
I like that.
So I will send Jamie the link and then she can give it to whoever.
I'll have my phone. Oh,
Yeah. We can roll with it.
Okay.
I'll do my best not to scream and shake. I'll set it up and leave it. Yeah, the day I was like, I'm shaking so much.
Awesome. Well, great job today. I thought this was an interesting conversation. Thank you so much to everybody in the chat. Kenneth says October babies unite.
right on, Ken.
With that, you get to bed. Have a great day tomorrow. And we will see you then. Until then, we'll catch everybody next time on Thursday Night CrossFit Talk at the Crash Crucible. Bye,
Thanks,
guys.
Bye.
We about to change the game. We out here taking